Hello and welcome to the Kart World Champs semi-final. This was the second semi-final out of two. There was no one lap quali for this. It was decided by 1v1 match races, which I'll explain in a bit. But this has to be one of the most hectic kart races that I've, hectic starts to a kart race I've ever experienced. So yeah, everyone got pretty fed up with each other. But yeah, enjoy this. I'm just gonna shut up, let you enjoy it, and I'll come back when the pit stops come around. Yeah, enjoy this. And in the pit stops we go. Yeah, that was a very hectic start. There's a few areas there where I could have definitely made a move, or yeah, could have taken a few more chances, but it's just so easy to lock the brakes on these karts and just smash into the driver in front of you. So I just wanted to play the long game, especially as I'm on the cusp of making the final. So I just need to kind of survive this race. I can afford to come bottom half in this race. Not that I want to, not that that's the goal, but yeah, as long as I kind of stay facing in the right direction, I could just sneak into the grand final of this event, which would be great. But we decided to pit there. I noticed the driver in front, he's got a fairly decent car, and I think if I can stick in a slipstream I'll get pulled along very nicely, but already there's a fat gap, and I'm starting to regret this decision. However, we were losing a lot of time with how much we were battling other drivers. However, it would have always have calmed down a bit, so again, in hindsight, should I have pitted? I don't know, but we've done it now, so we'll just have to live with it. But it's all a matter of just setting perfect laps now, whether in a slipstream or not. Try and just get ourselves in the best position possible, so that when drivers do start filtering out from the pit stops, that we can place ourselves ahead. So yeah, we will see how we get on. I'm not gonna. I have decided to cut this video up a little bit more than previous videos, so there's just a bit more highlights, there's a bit more stuff going on instead of just me driving around aimlessly. But yeah, this driver in front, the gap's kind of staying the same, so we're not really catching up, and it's gonna just get bigger and bigger. As you can see, powers away, and there's not much we can really do about it. But now we've got a few more pit stops, moving a bit further into the race. You can see a driver ahead coming out of the pit stop there, just in front of me. So I've got a bit of a good run, just trying to close down the gap, and hopefully we can latch onto him and see what we can do. But now he's the goal. I need to try and catch up to him, and I'm, fairly confident that we can do it. I think he was close to me when we did pit. So yeah, now the goal is very much to get as close as we can to him. In terms of how the grid was set for this race, as I was saying earlier, it was a 1v1 match race, which I think is an awesome thing. Basically, you all get put in a 1v1, so first place in the standings for that semi-final goes against last place, second place goes against second last place, etc. And you basically, you set a quali lap in your own time, and then you set a quali lap in your rival's kart as well. So it is kind of a one lap quali, but it's a bit different. You're going up in a 1v1, and if you beat them, you progress to the next round, and you are guaranteed. So if you get through round one, you're guaranteed to start in the top half of the grid, which I think is pretty cool. We managed to beat Mats de Jong in the first quali, and that was very, very important because he pulled. Well, we had a really duff car in our matchups, and obviously whoever wins that match race gets to choose which kart they take with them, and basically which car out the two your rival that you just beat gets as well. And I knew I was when I beat him, I knew which car that I was going to let him have. It was a pretty slow one, can't lie. But anyway, back to this race. We have caught back onto this driver here, as expected. This driver does go for a bit more of a relaxed approach to the corners. He clearly doesn't like to throw it around too much. And I just needed to adjust for that a little bit, so basically very little turn-ins. I don't want to smash right into the back of him. I didn't catch up to him super fast, it did take a few laps, but yeah, we will move on a little bit more into this race where we do just work together, and we're going to get a few more people filtering out of the pits. Well, maybe not right now, but in about a lap's time. This is just to show that we are working together. It's not really, there's no point us battling or me trying to get through, in my opinion anyway, as the race is not between each other, it's against everyone else who's currently further along the circuit waiting to do their pit stop. I can't remember how long this race was. I want to say it was 30 minutes, something like that, 25 minutes, I can't remember now. We did start, I think, around 15th or 6th, around 15th or 16th. As you can see, a bit further on in the race now, we have dropped a little bit back from this driver in front, but he has just had another driver filter right in front of him, and hopefully we can catch up to this and get involved in this. As you can see, a lot more karts around us now. Not just in front, a few people behind, as you can see to our left as well, so we're not terribly far down. We're probably roaming in around, well, a net 20th out of 32. This driver in front makes a slight mistake, and the other driver gets through. This driver in the yellow helmet does have a pretty speedy car though, so it's not going to take him long to get back through. But for now we stay put. And this 1v1 match race system that we used for our quali is exactly the same as the grand final. So let's see if we get there first. Need to focus on this race, need to not battle too hard, although we are coming to the last few minutes of the race now. And yeah, everyone's just going to stay put for now. We have got a driver that's just filtered out behind us as well. Not quite on our bumper, but he's not far away. And we're just going to try and keep up with his driver, get him to pull us along. And it's going to be fun towards these last few laps. As you can see, about a corner ahead, that's around about the top 10. So we're not terribly far away considering how disastrous the start was for us. We really did lose out quite a bit. We lost a ton of spaces. I mean, we were 5 wide going into this section here. I'm sure you saw all of that. But we are going into the last, I want to say the last couple of laps. And the driver ahead of the yellow helmet, the guy in the red suit, a bit further down, it's just not really going to be possible to catch up to him in this time. So the battle is between these two drivers and a guy right behind us. It's always a good feeling when you come out of the pits and you see people filtering out behind you. There was another moment earlier in this race which I didn't show. It had like 3 drivers all just filtering just behind. But we say that we're still not terribly high up in this race. We do go for a move on this driver. As you can see, very easy to lock up the brakes. Didn't really pull off the move. So like, okay, never mind. We'll just stay where we are. There's a couple minutes left. We'll pull in this driver in front of us and we'll go from there. Again, could have easily gone up the inside here, but we choose to stay behind. But of course, we did catch up this driver. Last few laps of this race now. I believe it's second last lap now. And yeah, as I say, we are roaming in around 21st. I believe that's where we are. It was very difficult to. There wasn't really anywhere which gave you exact race results for each race after the race, so it was difficult to kind of keep track on where you were finishing. This driver again does a very big send into that corner there. Quite a good move. Has cost a lot of time, but not that it really matters. Our race is not with the people in front. I'm sure you just saw a glimpse of the guy behind us just there. As I say, this guy's car is pretty quick and we're right in a slipstream, so we will be able to keep up with him here a little bit. And we are going to fly past this driver onto the last lap of the race. Good little battle between us three, very clean, very, very nice. Not overly aggressive like the start of the race was, but we are right on this driver's bumper now, and we are thinking about making a move into the hairpin. But he's covered it right off. He's not letting me see a single bit of daylight there. So we just remain relaxed and calm. Don't want to accidentally touch the back of him. Having to get all defensive now. It is the last lap. It's all kicking off in front as well, a bit further down the road. Not the best of exits out of here, but this driver did have decent power coming out of the corner, but he did lack a bit of top speed. So quite the opposite to my car. In terms of a bit more powerful out of corners than mine, but I had a bit more top speed. Meant a good battle, but we're coming to the last few corners now. I just don't want to I don't want to lose another spot to the driver behind, because it really can be the difference between me getting into the grand final or not. So I'm relatively happy just to stay put. He is right on my bumper, so if I do make a move on this driver here in front of me, he could, and I mess it up, he could just slide straight through. But we're going to try and take our chances through here. But unfortunately, no chance. And we are going to end up finishing in, I think, 21st position, which does get us into the grand final. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this race, and we will see you in the final.